And when you do make a decision, you want to do whatever you decide to do well, and I think that's more of the focus. We just didn't do it well enough. We needed to get a score on the board where we could then apply pressure. It was sort of one of those surfaces where it was hard to get momentum, and I think they even showed as well, although it wasn't a competitive total to chase. It was just not as free-flowing as we were perhaps expecting. But it is important we move on to the next game. The surface there will be different again, but the cricket smarts is something that I think we just want to be a little bit better at, something we do pride ourselves on, but it wasn't there today. I mean, you want to win the game, and it wasn't to be today, and it's not sort of about going backwards, it's just about learning and moving forward and trying to put out better performances, and that's all we tried to do in the previous series, and obviously that was a successful one. Not a great start to the series for us, but I guess any experience that you have, number one team in the world, is a great opportunity to get better. I think they did perhaps expose us in some areas. I think the lengths that they bowled on that wicket were outstanding, and it did make scoring or any sort of momentum hard to achieve. So there are a lot of learnings to come from it, and it's important we I guess identify those and move forward quickly. You're just not our best performance, and I think you just look at it in small bits. It's not about jumping, I guess, or a knee-jerk reaction to a performance. It's just identifying some areas that we want to get better at and moving on as a group. We know that when we put it together, we can beat anybody, but we are up against a very strong opposition in India, as everybody knows. But at the same time, it's important we play our best cricket and we focus on the areas that we want to keep improving on. And today, that middle period with the spin, obviously they got early wickets, which is a good start for them, but the way their spinners bowled, the pace and length that they bowled was classy. Yeah, Shami bowled really nicely. I think their whole bowling unit as a collective didn't give anything away, so it was hard to gain any sort of momentum, and the spinners bowled really nicely. I think for a period of time there, we were ticking it over, and I think as a surface, it did offer to the slower bowlers certainly more than perhaps the seamers, just held in the wicket a little bit, and like I say, that momentum was quite tough to gain, and whenever we sort of put together 6 or 7 overs and maybe 25 runs, we'd lose another wicket, and that seemed to be the theme throughout our innings. There's always that consideration, but it is very much about the surface, and obviously if you go back in time and be a little bit more aware of how the wicket was going to play, then I think the slower bowlers were quite effective. Saying that, bowling second and not having enough runs on the board, there's a lot of other things you want to get right first, but obviously 2 quality spinners that we're fortunate to have, and we just need to look at the conditions and make our best call. No, we know they're good. We have played them a number of times, and we expected them to be good, and they certainly were good. And it's more about us and how we want to put out our better performance. And today, I mentioned the batting. There were some positives with the ball and a step up in the field, but I think collectively we do want to just be a little bit better. And often it can come down to making a couple of better decisions. As batsmen, if you do get past perhaps that crossroads of pressure, then and come out the other side, you can build those partnerships. So it is a fine line, although it didn't appear on the scorecard. And hitting a really nice area as well. So he was very, very demanding and bowled beautifully with the wind at good pace. And I guess you throw all those combinations into the mix, and there's a couple of early wickets for you, I guess. But I think as a batting whole, I'd like to think that having had these experiences, we can pick up on some lessons and learn from them fairly quickly, and it is important we do. Don't know. We haven't had to deal with too many sun strikes, but we knew that in some of the domestic T20 games that it had been the case that, and it is fairly considerable, so it did have to happen. It's hard to move the sun and hard to move the grandstand, so we didn't have either of those options, and we had to sit down for a bit. Yeah, it's great to be back here in Napier playing cricket. They're a proud cricketing area, and every time we come here there's a good turnout, a good crowd, albeit maybe 80% were Indian today, but that's still cool. And you know, it is a great place to come and play. And we've had a number of good results here. Today certainly wasn't the case, but at the same time, it is still great that cricket's back here in Napier.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.